Hello all, welcome to Sribhavya Job Seller channel. In this video, we are going to discuss about the surface sources and subsurface sources of water from the chapter Sources of Water in Environmental Engineering. Here, if we get into the details of the surface sources versus subsurface water sources, when we are designing a water supply scheme, first thing we always think about where the water is coming from. Okay. Here there are two variations water can come from. They are from the surface sources as well as subsurface sources. If we break down the each surface source and subsurface sources, mainly the surface water will be available on the ground surface. It is mainly due to the runoff when it is coming after the precipitation. The sources are mainly rivers or streams. If we classify the rivers or streams, there are perennial rivers and non-perennial rivers. Okay. And next, lakes, which are natural depressions that store water. The quality of water is better in lakes rather than in rivers, because in rivers the suspended matter will be more as compared to lakes. Next, another surface source is ponds. The ponds are small natural artificial bodies which are storing water. Ponds are also having the good quality of water, but the quantity is very less. Next thing is impounded reservoir or storage reservoir. They are nothing but dams. These are all about the surface sources. Here, the water from the surface sources will be supplied to the treatment plant via intakes. They are supplied via intakes. Okay, their canal intakes will be there and river intakes will be there. Again, we'll be getting into the details later. Next thing is, if we get the surface water is often contaminated with the organic debris and suspended matters. Everything, it is always contaminated. So the surface water will be always require treatment. Of course, the subsurface water also requires treatment, but surface water requires the best treatment. Next, subsurface water. Here, subsurface water will be classified into springs. We get water from the springs, which are natural outflows where the water table intersects with the ground surface. When the water table intersects with the ground surface, we get springs. Okay. In these springs also there are two types: gravity springs and artesian springs. Gravity springs are nothing but the water flows under hydrostatic pressure, and artesian springs are nothing but the water is released under the pressure. The example of the artesian springs is confined aquifer. Okay, this confined aquifer comes under the artesian springs. Next, we have wells. Wells are open or dug wells and tube wells. Next, infiltration galleries. Infiltration galleries are the horizontal tunnels that are built near the river banks to intercept the groundwater. Next, infiltration wells. These are the shallow wells along a river bank connected by porous pipes to a central well called as jack well. Okay, here infiltration galleries and infiltration wells have been not mentioned in this image. This is all about the surface sources and subsurface sources. If we compare the surface source and subsurface sources, Surface sources. Surface sources have high volume of water. Seasonal variability will be there, means they are perennial or non-perennial, and high turbidity and suspended solids will be also more, and exposure to more contamination and requires significant treatment. This is all about the surface sources. If we get into subsurface sources, the flow is consistent and less variability because of the climate changes or runoff or rainfall, and high mineral content will be present, slow depletion, next safe from bacteria, and less extensive treatment will be required for the subsurface sources of water. This is all about the sources of water. Thanks for watching.